Good morning. It's Wednesday the 8th, hump day as it were. Grandpa Ranty's in the house. Oh yeah. Today we're going to talk about the lack of competence in the football media, because this is football week, opening week where you got the Shield opens up tomorrow night with the Buccaneers and Cowboys. I've looked far and wide for competent people. What do I think is competent in the football media? Somebody's a straight shooter, knows what he or she is talking about, is not biased as fiddlesticks. It's a very short list. Oh yeah, it is a very short list. There is so much hate on certain teams while they excuse their favorite teams of anything. For example, Kansas City's been anointed, even though they were completely dismembered in the Super Bowl, as if nobody saw it. Nobody's going to take notes and stuff. Oh, but they're anointed. I mean, they can do no wrong. Mahomes going to walk on water. Raiders, for example, anybody who actually knows football and just isn't just trying to be a hater understands that they're going to be dramatically better off of an 8-8 team. But I've even heard the narrative that they were lucky to be 8-8. No. They had great offense, top 10 offense, and a crap defense. So what we do? We bring in the guy from the Legion of Boom. We bring in Gerald McCoy. We bring in Yannick Ngakoue. We reposition our entire secondary to put them where they belong and run a scheme that doesn't suck nuts. Oh, obviously, we're not even going to sniff 500. I grow tired of this. I really do. And there's just a couple of them. Lots of people are trying to pick against the Redskins. That's the name I'm going with. Trying to say the Giants are going to be better or Dallas is going to be better. Because everybody wants to glorify a certain kind of quarterback or a certain kind of play style. They're not objective. Almost none of them are. It's disgusting. Whether it's Chris Collinsworth, whether it's even some of them are former coaches. They're terrible. The worst of them is Pro Football Focus. They're the worst I've ever seen. I mean, their main guy, Florio, literally makes stuff up and brands it as news. And he tries to push certain narratives to make certain things happen. If he was in the business world, he would be convicted of fraud. But because he's in the entertainment world, they keep re-signing him to contracts. And that just shows you just how craven and bat excrement crazy this industry is. So what I say to people is do your homework. Look at each team on its own merits. That's what I do. There's a couple guys that are really good. Okay? Listen to these guys. These guys typically know what they're doing, and then maybe not the other guys. And by the way, Booger McFarland, one of the worst also. I mean, there's so many shades of excrement. Okay, there are so many different levels and so many shades. You know, is it dark poop? Is it light poop? Is it the really weird green kind? Yeah, I went there. It's just like that. It's like the different shades of number two. Well, I'm going to flush the handle. I don't listen. I listen to them to see what kind of idiocy they're talking about. I don't trust what they're saying. In fact, it kind of tells me if they're opposing me, I'm on the right side. More or less what not to do, what not to say, what not to believe. And I don't know who anointed these people, especially the ones that never played before. Then you get on the major networks, and even a Tony Dungy has to have narratives, because NBC is huge on narratives. They're the ones that employ Florio. They're terrible, and their coverage is terrible. ESPN, it's more social justice than it is, and you can argue whether there's a place for that or not. My side of the argument is no, but you can at least argue it. But they're more social justice than they are about actually analyzing what's going on between the lines on the field. And it's south of disgusting at this point. It's like watching the southern end of a cow. Or a donkey. That one's better. But I don't want to, maybe I'm coming off a little vague. Maybe I'm pulling my punches. I'm going soft on you guys, but it's just what I'm going to go with. So who's good out there? When it comes to quarterbacks, I like Chris Sims. I'm a big believer that the guy who was good enough to get to the show but wasn't a starter, wasn't an all-pro, but he was good, probably observed a lot more than the guy that just got there on raw talent. And Chris Sims spent some time with Chucky, so he's been around offensive geniuses. Chris Sims knows quarterbacks. He's pretty freaking good. He's not afraid to go contrary to the crowd. And that, to me, is a necessary special sauce to not suck nuts in their industry. Another one, but this one more is about just the entire game, is Louis Riddick. That dude works his tail off, and he knows what he's talking about. He's been in the trenches. He's played. Not afraid to say what he needs to say. And just like anybody else, he's not infallible. But I just don't see bias. I see good character. I see truth telling. He's one of the first ones. I like the Raiders a lot. He's one of the first ones that came out and went, "Why are you guys dumping on the Raiders? Why are you dumping on Carr?" And now slowly but surely, Carr's now getting faint praise from people that were dumping on him 6 weeks ago, because they can't keep up that narrative. The numbers don't belie it. He's a top 10 quarterback in every single way. He's not a top 5, he's a top 10. So you can't dump on the guy. It rings hollow, especially when there's somebody out there like Lewis who's truth telling all over you. He's going to eat your lunch. In the industry that he's in, and he's determined he's going to do it the right way, he's going to eat a lot of other people's lunch. He knows that getting it right is more important than selling a narrative. It's more durable. It gives you much more credibility. And he just doesn't suck nuts like the rest of them. I mean, it's not a short distance between him and and the rest of these so-called experts. But the people that are going to be on these crews, I mean, Tony Romo is probably another good one. He's the third one. Tony Romo is very good also. And it's amazing when you're a truth teller, when Romo says something and then everybody jumps on him. He says this kid Wilson's going to be really good. Romo was a good quarterback. And he came from a non-blue blood school also. He might know something. But 95% of the time, he's right when he talks. Number one. Number two, there's no hint of bias. And he's just such a happy warrior. He doesn't throw shade. I mean, he can sling it if he has to, but that's just not his MO. Good dude. Good dude. Those are the three that I've been able to consistently not want to engage in projectile vomiting when I listen or hear them. Or when I listen or see them, whether it's on a podcast or it's on a YouTube channel or it's on network television when they're doing a game. If you get a chance to listen to a game with Lou Riddick in it, you're gonna hear it straight. You listen to Tony Romo. Yeah, he's an acquired taste, I guess, from the standpoint of how he does things. And I think if he ever steps out of a booth with Jim Nantz and he ever goes with someone else, it won't work as well. I think they work really well together. But that's style. But on the substance, Romo's tight. He knows what he's doing. So that's my Ring of Honor right now. 3 people. Are there others? Maybe. I'm talking about national people that seem to be taking all the oxygen out of the room. But you go to Bleacher Report, you go to CBS Sports, you go to Pro Football Talk, Pro Football Focus, I mean. You go to NBC, ESPN. Look around. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And some of these people, they'll literally say something about the team they don't like, and literally 2 sentences later, excuse the exact same thing from their team. Pretty stupid. And I see it all the time. All the time. I don't know how you cannot see where the Raiders are going particularly. You can't see that the Chiefs may take a step back. Can't see why anybody would go against Washington in the NFC least, especially when Dallas's starting quarterback is having problems. He's having physical issues. He's not 100% going into the season. It's not a positive thing. And if you think Dallas can match up with Washington's D, try again, Paisan. That's a force. The Cowboys are hanging on for dear life defensively. I mean, they're okay. They're probably top 15. They're not what Washington's cooking. I'm just saying. There's lots of teams out there that, like, there's a narrative. There are people trying very hard to defend Deshaun Watson, for example. When the correct answer is wait and see. It's a lot of people dumping on the quarterback of the Washington team, right? But he's been good everywhere he's gone. He's just as good as he's an average plus, and that's all they really need when they've got a lockdown defense. So I ain't getting it. So there's a number of teams you can say those things about. And then there's people that are like very hateful of Jameis Winston. And then there's people that are overly supportive. He's another lightning rod. I tend to think he's going to be pretty good because he's got a mad genius behind him. And he learned a few things from Drew Brees. So I think he's going to be okay. And they've got a pretty decent defense. You can go all over the league. Everybody's loving Kyler Murray again out in the desert. Why? I see a dude's not. He's not catch. He's got all the weapons in the world, and he's not striking Flint. Everybody's against Garoppolo because they've fallen in love with Trey Lance, because they're in the industry of, oh, we promoted Lance through the draft. We can't go against him. We can't just call it like it is. Can't do that. That'd be Chris Sims like. So you go all over the league, and you see these things that just don't rise to the level of professionalism. And sometimes they don't even pass the sniff test. Now, I'm sure I'm leaving out a couple people here or there, possibly from the national media. It's possible, but I don't know. I think those three guys are pretty darn good. I just want to see. It's getting to a point where you can't even watch an NFL game with the sound up. That's sad. It's really sad. They need to do better than that. So I'd really like to see the stop deciding who's good and who's bad based on their social justice score or whatever is in their heads, and just reduce it to, is that a good player? Is that team on the right track? Not, we hate Chucky because Chucky's a wise ass. We don't like him because he's arrogant or something. Or we don't like him because he traded Khalil Mack, even though Khalil Mack forced the trade. I saw that twice today, that he forced out Khalil Mack, and he said he's got to deliver the goods. I heard that from two different people. One was on ESPN, one was otherwise. Factually inaccurate. And they know it. They all know it. They all know that he forced the trade. Chucky offered him an extension. He turned it down. He forced the trade. They're still on this. And it just shows a level of bias, sprinkled with a little bit of stupidity on the, for flavor. It's just stupid. It's getting hard to watch, like I said. So that's my rant for today. I mean, I'm not in a yelling mood yet. It's early. I'll be back on Friday. Maybe we'll cover what happened on Thursday Night Football. Maybe we won't. I might be more in a soccer mood. It might be both. Who the heck knows? Kind of digging this. Get off my lawn. I'm going to chat you up on what I care about at the moment. Sometimes, like this morning, I had a very general idea what I wanted to talk about, and it just hits me. I hit play, or I hit record, and it just comes out of me. Comes out of my pores. Yeah. I enjoy this medium, and I enjoy being able to put some stuff on film. And it is mediocre, and we don't edit. But that's because I'm a human being. 50-something, got some experience. Got some things to say. And speaking of that, I'd like to hear some of the things you guys might have to say. So if you wouldn't mind, take the comment aspect of what I always ask at the end of each video. Take that to heart for once, please. And so once again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the ringy-dingy, spread this video far and wide so that we can push out the walls of ignorance and deliver sports knowledge to the masses that may not even realize they need it. Do it because sharing is caring. I care enough to give you my best, so please care enough to send my very best on to people that you think could benefit from that, or would at least be amused in it. So I will see you on Friday. You guys have a great rest of the week. Peace out, me homies. See ya.